So, oh wait, I have to share my screen. I about started without sharing my screen. There we go. Now everybody can see the screen I'm looking at. Welcome to International Women's Day. It is a very exciting day. It is so hard to believe that the list that I saw of people filtering in, a lot of y'all were here last year, and that this was the last time most of us were all together last year in person. I was looking at some pictures this morning, in person, hugging, laughing, meeting in small groups in our Mixtros event, and how the world has changed. But today on March 8th, I feel like we can see the end coming, so that next year we will all be back together. And so while we couldn't be together in person, I'm so excited that we are here on the screen together, celebrating the awesome things that women are doing in our community. So thank y'all all for participating. Just a little, since we are on Zoom, just a reminder for everybody to turn their microphones off, to mute yourself. If you don't know how to mute yourself, if you put your cursor on the 3 dots in the top of your image, there should be an option to mute. So, and if you don't mute yourself, we will mute for you. And we are on Zoom today because at the end of our event, we are going to have a Mixtros networking event. So if you don't want to have your camera on, that's fine, but we would love for you to have your camera on so we can see everybody's beautiful faces on this great day. But welcome to International Women's Day at Forge. We are so excited that y'all are all here. And I first want to give a big thanks to our presenting sponsors. We will hear from them in just a minute. 1 Degree Marketing, Hightower Somerset Advisory, The Wealth Edit, and then Mixtros at the end will be doing a Mixtros event. So without these sponsors, today would not have been possible. And also, all of these sponsors are doing amazing things, women-led owned companies that are doing amazing things in our city, and also amazing things to support and grow women-owned businesses. So thank you, ladies, very much. I am Kim Lee. I am the founder and CEO of Forge. So if you are new to this event, new to Forge, we are a co-working space in the heart of downtown Birmingham. We are at the Pizitz building above the food hall. We opened in September 2017. This is our 3rd International Women's Day event. And one of the things that we love most at Forge, woohoo, is that we love that we get to be a part of supporting small businesses, entrepreneurs, and just the ecosystem in Birmingham. So we do that along with our membership, but we also do a lot of events. So this is one of the events where we can really elevate and celebrate women who aren't just members at Forge, but who are doing awesome things in our city. But at Forge, we are a co-working space. Like I said, we're a member-based business. And so our members are made up of small business owners, entrepreneurs, freelancers. We have a lot now of remote workers, people who are tired of working from home and need a different scenery. But we also have private offices, conference rooms. If you need a conference room to meet a client, we have that. It's available for people who are not members. So we would love to have you come and visit us, check us out. So right now, we actually have a few private offices open. So we're going to do something a little different today that we've not done before. But as we are in the spirit of supporting female-owned businesses, so Forge looks a lot different than it did this time last year. Like I said, we had 150 women in one room, a brand new room. We had just expanded. But right now we are really in a rebuilding phase as people are starting to get out of their house a little bit more, starting to make their way back downtown. And so we've always had a referral program, but I wanted to let y'all know about our referral program because we right now are asking for y'all's help. I haven't seen this gift in person. I haven't seen it live. But we are going to literally right now take 2 minutes. I'm going to set a timer on my phone. And we would love for y'all's help to think of somebody. We are asking for referrals from y'all. So if you can think of somebody who you know who might be in need of a private office, or who you know has talked about like, man, I need to get out of my home, and maybe they don't need a private office, but they need a membership. If you will, excuse me, I'm going to take 2 minutes, and you can either text that person's name, your name, the referral's name, and their email address. You can either text it to that number right there, or you can put it in the chat, whatever you would like. And I have this gift card right here that is a massage to the relaxation room from Adrienne Ward, who is awesome. Jackie just had a massage by her. But you will be put in a drawing, and at the end we will draw from that for this prize. So ready, set, go. Y'all think of people, and I can't even see the chat. I can't see what's coming in. Kelsey is manning all of that. So we've got 2 minutes for y'all to put on your thinking caps, look in your phone, think, okay, who might be a good referral for this? Okay, and just a reminder to mute your videos. Not your video, mute your microphone. All right, we've got 1 more minute, and then this little bit of awkward time will be over, but we really do appreciate your help. I know that this is such an awesome community where just women in our city are so great for supporting other women. So we are thankful for y'all taking time to do this. I tried to get music in here, but I'm also not smart enough to do that. All right, we've got about 30 more seconds. We've got 30 more seconds to think. Is there anybody you can think of who might be a good fit? Okay, time's up. If you didn't enter, you're not going to be entered in for the door prize. But thank y'all so much for your help. And of course, if you think of more people, you can always let us know. We are always open to that. But let's see if I can go back. But just a reminder, so this referral program, if you refer somebody for a co-working membership or a dedicated desk, it's $100 cash. And if you refer somebody for a private office and they become a member or take out a private office, it's $200 cash. So that's not just for Forge members. That's just a little walking around knowledge for you. Okay, and I wanted to let you know about an event that we have recently started at Forge. We started Connect. It's a virtual networking event. And really because we just miss seeing people. We miss having face-to-face interactions besides like a webinar or a Zoom call where we're really not talking. And so we created this virtual networking event as a way to come together consistently with the idea of helping each other grow their businesses. So we've been meeting for about a month. We have one more, almost a month till the end of March, where it will continue to be free. Each meeting is capped at 30 participants, and everybody has a chance to share about what they do, who their ideal customer is, and then we have small breakout groups where you can actually get to know people, form more meaningful relationships. So if you would like to join us, you can just I don't want to say click on that QR code or take a picture because that's not the right terminology, but put your phone up to that QR code and it will take you to the website to learn more about Connect. So just one more chance. If you're interested in Connect or membership at Forge, there's your QR code. I'll give you about 20 seconds, 10 seconds to do that. And then this is in prep for at the end. So at the end of this event, we are so excited to have another Mixtros networking event. I have done the virtual networking event with Mixtros a couple times, so I'm excited to do it today. But here are the instructions. So if you are on your phone, you need to make sure you download the app. And this was also in the email instructions. If you're on your desktop or laptop, There, in all the emails that went out, there was a link in those emails. So right now you can take a second to pull up that email, look at your phone, make sure you have it, because at the end, once we get started, we're going to need all of that ready to go. So the email that came from Eventbrite should have the link. If you're on your desktop or on your phone, you can just look in Apple, the App Store, and get the Mixtros app. All right. So now I am done with my part, and I'm so excited to introduce our sponsors today. We are going to start with Miss Jacqueline Jones. So Jackie, wave. We have kept everybody pinned just to make it easier on this Zoom call for you to see everybody. So Jackie is one of our presenting sponsors, and I'm going to let you share, Jackie.
Good morning. Happy International Women's Day and all that fun stuff. If I had some confetti that would reach you, I would throw it. But we haven't, Zoom has upgraded, but it has not upgraded that far. So my name is Jackie Jones. I know a lot of you in here, so I'm happy to see familiar faces. I am CEO of 1 Degree Marketing, founder of Elevation Academy. And we basically do outsourced marketing, and Elevation Academy is a monthly subscription. But I chose this morning not to focus on myself entirely, which I know is surprising to some of you. But a frequently asked question for me is why I chose the name 1 Degree. And so I want to tell you that this morning instead. So, you know, here, I'll give you the dramatic approach. At 211 degrees, water is hot. Y'all feel it? Did you feel it come through? Okay. And that's true. At 211 degrees, water is extremely hot, but it's not until it's 212 degrees that it boils. That 1 degree difference is what takes it just from being hot to being something that can change what's in it. It goes from being just hot, that where it can scar and where it can burn and can hurt people and can maybe get a conviction in a court case, to actually making something consumable and making it something that people can take in and take in well. And that's what we do at 1 Degree from a marketing perspective. However, today, I want you all to know that you are that 1 degree difference. Women in this world are that difference. That is what we do. We elevate the temperature of our families, of our communities, and of this world. And so today I'm super grateful to be one of the sponsors alongside all of these. There's nothing but women, because that's what we do. We are the difference. And I celebrate all of you today. And I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for having me, Kim.
All right, and this is really difficult for me not to be giving people hugs and laughing. And anyway, so I'm laughing behind my mute, and so happy to have you today. So next, we have the ladies from the Wealth Edit and Somerset Advisory, and it's really exciting to have them here today. I'm going to let them, if y'all were here last year, you remember they were also a presenting sponsor, but I'll let them share why today is such a big day for them. So I don't know who's
I'll go first.
Wealth Edit. Okay.
So I'm Lauren Pearson, and I started a private practice called Somerset Advisory, which is a full service wealth management firm. And Emily Lassiter, who's there, joined me about a year ago. And we've always been committed to women in our practice. And so this is such a natural fit for us to sponsor, because we appreciate the work that Forge is doing in propelling women's businesses forward. So our practice, it's sitting in English Village. It's a small wealth management practice. So if you're someone that is looking for a good bit of handholding in your investment advisory relationship, or going through some complex planning, we'd love for you to take a look. So, and then about a year ago, out of the greater need to serve women, but in Somerset, it's a little bit more of a niche practice. We thought we were not serving women as well as we could overall. And so that was why we created the Wealth Edit. And I'll let Emily tell you about that.
Yes. So the Wealth Edit started on International Women's Day last year. So we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary as well. And we are so thankful that we've had such a great year. I mean, we had a great business plan and got to use it for about 5 days, and then went into quarantine and had to start all over. So those of you that have gotten to watch the Wealth Edit grow and transform over the last year, it's been a wild ride, but we've enjoyed it. The Wealth Edit, as Lauren said, was built to be a community of women that so they could get together and actually talk about wealth. We've been taught almost our entire lives, many of us, that talking about money is tacky and should remain private. And what Lauren and I saw play out in both our personal lives and our professional lives is the lack of communication and conversation around wealth was holding women back in both their personal lives and in their business lives. And so we have created a platform that has a monthly membership. Today is the last day that it's $34 a month or $375 a year. Our price is doubling starting tomorrow. So our first year rate was there for a reason, because we were just getting up and started, but we are so excited about our lineup for the rest of the year. We have online courses that covers everything from balancing like parenting and working to bookkeeping to entrepreneurship 101. We cover it all, and we do it in small group settings with live facilitators that are actively teaching, but there's lots of room for back and forth communication and real life application of what we're learning. We also do Wealth Edit Wednesday, which is a podcast on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and we record those and put those on podcast or Zoom as well if you miss something. But each Wednesday we just feature a female that we think is doing brave and interesting things. And again, that just is designed to foster communication and to encourage women as they hear other women's stories about what they've done and how they've succeeded. And then we also offer Zoom office hours at this point. Maybe one day we'll be able to do it in person. I would love that, but where we get to know each of our members and help connect and brainstorm. So there's so many opportunities to connect with other women that are also talking about money and experts in the field. So we're really excited about it and would love for y'all to check us out at thewealthedit.com. And do remember, today's the last day for the lower monthly and annual rate.
Thank you, ladies, so much. And, I can personally say all three of these ladies are awesome and their businesses are great. So please definitely support them, share about them. The Wealth Edit podcast is really great. I can't say enough good things. So thank y'all for the work that you're doing to support, elevate women, and just our community as a whole. Y'all are all doing amazing work. Okay, so now I am going to unpin our sponsors, and we're going to move over to just our panelists. I'm getting sidetracked by the chat. I've got to stop. Okay, so I got to do one thing at a time. So I'm going to remove the pins so that we can just see our panelists. So this way we thought is the most like a live discussion as we could have. Okay, so a couple of reminders. One, make sure your microphone is on mute. Two, I have a set of questions for these ladies, but we also do want to have that the question and answer from the audience. So please put your questions in the chat and I will facilitate that at the end. We'll probably wait to the end to look at the chat, and I am gonna try not to look at it too much while I'm asking questions, but we definitely want to get to your questions too. So that's one of the things that's so great about all being together. And I also wanted to say a huge thanks. Most of y'all picked up your bags on Friday, so I know that it made everybody's Friday better. I will be eating some of this today for lunch, but if you get a chance, please make sure to somehow share, support, thank these women. This bag is filled with women. Some like you got treats to eat and some are coupons or discounts. I guess that's the same thing, but these businesses are all doing great things, and this year has not escaped anybody. It has been a difficult year for all of these businesses. So please support these businesses. If you go visit them, tag them on Instagram, any way that you can support them is just amazing. And they have done so much. I also wanted to say a big thanks to Wheelhouse. They put something in the bags, and then they also really hooked our panelists up with some amazing products. So they are always, it's a family-owned business. They're doing great things to support women, their employees, the city. So yes, everybody is saying the blue Rice Krispie, the cookie, not even nice. It was all amazing. So, yep, I think that's all that I wanted to cover. So now we get to meet the panelists and hear from the panelists. So I'm so excited to have these ladies with us today. I feel so fortunate to call each of them friends and have met them all in different ways. But these women, when we think about and try to plan for the next year, think about who could be on this panel, we think about a lot of different things, and we want to represent women in all different stages, doing different things in our community, different stages of life. So I'm so excited to have these women to share their stories with us today. So I will start with Javacia. Javacia, if you would introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you, your family, your organization, your business that you run, and what y'all do.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Happy International Women's Day. My name is Javacia Harris-Bowser, and I am a freelance journalist, and I'm also the founder of C. Jane Write, which is a website and a membership community for women who write and blog. I see several of my members here today, so thank y'all so much for coming out. I am born and raised here in Birmingham, but I lived in a lot of other places, Seattle, California, Louisville, Kentucky, before I moved back here in 2009 to teach at the Alabama School of Fine Arts. I taught there for 10 years. And then I decided to strike out on my own to be a full-time freelancer and to work on C. Jane Write. And so that is what I do now. And as far as family, I am happily married to Edward Bowser, who is also a writer. And that's me. That's my story.
All right, Mindy, you're next.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's so good to be here with all these women celebrating International Women's Day. I got to kind of do it 2 days in a row. Jackie and I were at an event yesterday and got to celebrate women, so it's good to extend it and do it multiple days in a row. I am the director of marketing for Bear Properties. I would like to give a brief description of what that means because I wear many, many, many hats here. So I tell you these 3 things that I do lots more than that. And Kim's laughing because she knows. Yesterday I was filling up waters as part of my job. So what that means is I help oversee properties that we have here at Bear Properties. We own the Summit, we have Pizzits here locally. Those are ones that a lot of our Birmingham people are going to recognize, but we also have properties around the US. So I oversee a property in Lexington, Kentucky, where I'm from. So yay, Kentucky girls. And then I oversee those properties there on the ground who are really executing events and social media and things of that nature. I've worked at properties myself, so that's kind of what I did before I came to the corporate office. And I also oversee all the PR for the company, PR for the properties. I oversee all of the media for the properties that I manage. And I also help support our leasing teams through different pitch books and things of that nature, and also a lot of research that we have to do to convince people to come so you guys can shop some great stores. So every time you see a store at the Summit, just know I probably helped in some way get that here. So celebrate and shop. Like I said, I came from Kentucky about 5 years ago. Threw myself right into Birmingham. I love living here. It's been a lot of fun. I've been married for almost 14 years, which is kind of crazy. It's coming up in April. And I have 2 French bulldogs and a boxer. So I'm a dog mom, no actual children, but they keep me busy. So.
And Mindy is learning very quickly how to perfect, it's roller skating, but.
Okay, so yeah, COVID has taught me how to do 2 things, which I'll talk about a little bit later. One is mountain biking. So I decided at almost 40 that I was going to take up mountain biking with my husband, and I'm taking up roller skating again. So learning what I would call footwork and artistic moves. So If you see me down at Railroad Park, if you see me fall, just smile and wave and move on. I'm probably fine. I have bruised my tushy handful of times, so there's that. But I love it.
And it's fun I will say, all three of these ladies, they are definitely very fun to follow along on social media. So we can put those in the chat, and we've tagged them in all our posts. Okay, last but not least, Delphine, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am Delphine Carter. I'm the CEO and founder of Boulo Solutions. Boulo means gig in French, and it's we are working to help women stay in the workforce and return to the workforce, especially after they have children, by matching them with flexible job opportunities. I grew up overseas until about high school. I moved to Florida in the 80s, which was a massive culture shock, lowriders and neon, from France to that. I'm half French, and so there's a little bit of quirk that comes with that. There's also a love for wine and cheese, if anybody wants to share that with me. I've got 2 kids, a 10 and a 13-year-old. We can do it while we rollerblade, Mindy. A 10 and a 13-year-old. I am often found on ball fields because they're big lacrosse players. And I also, I'm just kind of all around town. I'm a single mom. I've been divorced about 5 years, and it's been just a wild journey of self-discovery and just parenting and watching them flourish and grow. So it's been a good. Oh, you're muted.
Yep. Kelsey, can you watch the mute for people? Yep. Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, for introducing yourselves. So this year, so you know, at the end of our event last year, that afternoon or the next day, we sort of took notes and said, okay, what was great about this year? What could be better for next year? And so I was looking over my notes a couple, you know, as we started to plan. And one of the things that we said was it would be really great to have a theme. This is, you know, this will be the 3rd year this year. And it would be good, you know, to have a theme so that there's a focus. And in my notes, I had written down choose to challenge. And so when I went back, when we were looking over this a couple months ago, I was like, oh man, that's an awesome theme. Like we were really smart. I don't know how we came up with that, but that was a great idea. Well, and so we ran with it, and it turns out that that's actually like the national, like for the actual event, that is the theme. So we probably saw that sometime last year and just wrote it down that that would be our theme for this year. But we can take none of the credit. That was the actual theme for the day. For everybody around the world celebrating today is choose to challenge. So for you ladies, and I'm looking at my notes on my phone, that's why I'm looking down. Can you tell us, and I'm going to try not to go in the same order every time. So Mindy, I'm starting with you. Can you tell us a time in your career where you chose to challenge?
I knew you were going to start with me.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. When Kim messaged me, I was like, I don't know what that means. Help me. I was like, choose the challenge. I was like, I like to make life easier, not harder. You know, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about just the different cultures and environments that I've been in throughout the different jobs that I've had. And I've not had a ton of jobs. I worked retail. I did event management. And then now that I'm here at Vera Properties, I'm doing more property management sort of stuff, a lot of events and things like that. And thinking about where in my career I really felt that I needed to challenge myself and have the support to do that. And I'm so thankful for the team at Vera Properties because we do that kind of organically as a company. Every year we all set goals for ourselves. And I think that's really when we started doing that here at Bear. I get to pick what my goals are. So there's, you know, they have to pertain obviously to my job a little bit, but I can really choose to challenge what I want to learn that year, what I want to perfect, and what I want to see different in the company. And it can be everything from, you know, I want to do something drastically different with at a property, or I want to help, I don't know, grow somebody's social media and really focus in on that. Or it could be as simple as I want to learn Photoshop, so I'm going to do whatever I need to do to help make that happen. And what the great thing is we can choose the challenge, but we also have to choose to hold ourselves accountable. And having a team of people to do that really helps helps me. And we have connects throughout the year. So 3 times a year, I look at those goals and think about what they are. And I have someone here holding me accountable and supporting me through it. And lucky for me, my director is a woman. So I have a great female to help guide me and mentor me and lead me along the path. Yeah, I mean, I choose the challenge in many different ways, but I love that we do that. And I wish more companies that I've worked for had done that, because I think it helps my personal growth. It helps me think about what I want to do outside of work as well, like pick up roller skating.
I love that. I think I'm going to keep my microphone on unmuted, so y'all are just going to hear me laugh and smile. But I love that, Mindy. That's a great setting goals and going back to them and being held accountable is a great way to grow. All right, Javacia, you're next.
So I would say I try to find a way to challenge myself every day. I'm sort of obsessed with the idea of like even formal challenges. I'm hosting one right now for CJ and Wright, in fact. But as far as a specific thing in my career, I would say the biggest challenge that I've set for myself was when I challenged myself to strike out on my own to become a full-time freelancer. For years, I didn't think it would be possible for me to be a successful full-time freelance journalist, because in my head, I thought you could only do that if you lived in New York or LA. But then I realized that was dumb. Like, why did I think that? And so in 2019, I took the leap and I left the classroom, and now I'm a full-time writer. And this allows me the opportunity to focus more on CJ and Wright as well. So that has definitely been the biggest challenge in my career, at least.
So how did you excuse me, seek out advice from other people, or do you have a mentor who's helped you along the way?
So when I was trying to decide if I was going to leave teaching, I think I talked to about 200 people about it because I just could not decide if I was going to take the leap, because I really, really love teaching. So it was a very difficult decision to make. So I kept asking like everybody and their mama and their auntie and their dog. I was asking everybody, what should I do? And funny enough, one of my former students, so out of one of my former students said to me, in the end, only you can make this decision. And she was right, talking to all these other people wasn't really going to be enough. I just had to make a decision for myself. And, I was smart about it. I planned out how I was going to make money. But, sometimes you just gotta jump and build your wings on the way down,
Yep. Okay, Delphine, what about you? A time in your career where you've chosen to challenge?
Probably right now, right? So for us, it's we reach out to businesses and we talk to them about hiring amazing, brilliant women, and we challenge them to interview them. A lot of our women have gaps in their resumes. And it's funny, I hate almost calling them gaps, because it's gaps in an old, traditional, dated, out of date sense. And so we challenge businesses to look at somebody whose resume might have done this in a couple different ways, to see those times as other growth opportunities that are non-typical, non-traditional. And so we challenge companies to just interview people. And I would say 98% of the time, we actually have statistics to show it. The businesses are like, she's perfect, I want her, we're in. But women's resumes that have gaps don't often show up on hiring platforms. So we challenge businesses to look at women's gaps differently. And then we also challenge them to, like Mindy at Bayer was talking about, to establish goals instead of butts in seats. So the goal should not be that you need somebody sitting in their chair from 8 to 5. That's a pretty crappy goal. Your goal should be that you will grow social media by X%, that you will run all projects on time and within budget from wherever you are. And so we challenge businesses to embrace flexibility in their culture by either hours, location, or the ability to run out and be a part of your kids' practices without feeling that pressure of leaving the office, knowing that you're dedicated to reach your goals. So that's how we challenge. I guess that's how I challenge career-wise. When I first got divorced, I had a year of why not? And that was where I was challenging myself. I did not go crazy. I stayed within my moral boundaries, but it was still a really fun year.
So let me ask you this, Delphine. Now, I think now people in Birmingham are more familiar with Boulo, and you have a track record. And if they haven't heard of Boulo, then somebody they know has, and we can all vouch for it. But at the beginning, how was that? I mean, what was it like going to companies and being like, look, you need to look differently at these women? And how was that received?
Yeah, it's so funny because there are some people that were like, you don't have to say anymore. I've got that mom right next door, or that mom is my wife. Like, I know that woman. You don't have to say anything. Start sending me resumes for this role. But there were some companies that were, they were really fluxumed by, well, what am I going to do with somebody that may not have worked in 3 years? How do I have confidence they know what to do? What about the tech skills? And that's where we just told them, we have our own vetting process that helps women. We guide them towards trainings if they haven't, if they are behind on technology. But we also created, out of that learning, that there are still some people out there that want that traditional resume look. We created a 360-degree profile that explains who these women are. And almost like a first interview, we ask, like, what have you been challenged with professionally, and how did you overcome it? Have you grown personally? And so we try to help the women have voices, is what we found out we needed to do.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Okay, so the next question. Each of your career paths have been different, which is why y'all are here to just, it's so, I love hearing different people's stories and journeys and how they got to where they are. But y'all have all had to make decisions, leaving good jobs to start your own, moving from Kentucky, where you had a really great job, to Birmingham. So can y'all tell us how you made the decision to leave something that was really good and secure, to start an unknown, and advice that you would give to women who are going through this kind of decision, like, should I make a change? And we will start with Javacia, this one.
Yeah, so I talked about this a little bit already, but obviously I had to make the decision to leave the classroom, and even going to the classroom was a decision as well. I've sort of had different careers. I've sort of jumped from one career to the next and then back, if you will, because as I mentioned, I lived in Louisville, Kentucky, where I was a newspaper reporter, but I'd always wanted to teach. And so I left that job to move back to Birmingham to teach. And then I left teaching to be a full-time freelance writer and to work on building C. Jane Wright. And yeah, it was really hard making that decision because I loved teaching so much, but juggling freelancing, teaching, and C. Jane Wright was really taking a toll on my mental and physical well-being. And so it really came down to not choosing one of those, but basically having to choose myself in a way. But as far as deciding what I was going to let go, as I said, I was asking everybody what I should do. But eventually what I realized is that by choosing C. Jane Wright and freelance writing, through C. Jane Wright, I could still teach. It would just look different, but I was still going to have the opportunity to teach. So one piece of advice I would offer is, if you're trying to choose between two passions, or two paths, I would say, see if there is a path that you can take that will allow you to still work with both passions, because oftentimes there is. So, so that would be one piece of advice. The other piece, if you don't feel like there's a path you can take that will allow you to continue to work on both passions, maybe let one passion be the one that you do for money, and the other could just be something that you do for fun. We don't have to make money off of every single thing we do. I think that sometimes we forget that in this world of, everybody turns everything that they do into profit. And we see that on social media every day. And so we feel pressure to do the same. But it's okay to have a hobby. Like, remember those were fun. So it's okay to still have those.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and I literally don't think I've ever thought about that, but it's such a good point. There's so much pressure, like if you love something, well, you should be making money off of it, but just have fun. But yeah, I love that. Thank you. All right, Delphine, you're up next. So, where you've had to make a big decision. Sorry, I'm just trying to remind you what the question was.
I know. I actually had to peek and remember too through the chats. So it was Boulo. I mean, I hate to tie it all back, but it really was. And so I had a great career. I was a product manager at software companies. It's a growing industry, had lots of opportunity, but I kept being woken at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and my brain would be spinning about things. And a lot of it was like women in the workplace. And it was just one of those things that would never leave me alone. And so it came to a point where I was like, I'm either not going to get any more sleep, or I just have to try this. I'm a single mom, 2 kids. So leaving a really good career to just go into entrepreneurship may not be the wisest thing. So different from Javacia, I chose to just not talk to many people about it, because I didn't necessarily need for me to just kind of work through it myself. And personally, it was just prayer is what worked for me. And so I made the leap into Boulo. I also started thinking there's only one thing that's permanent in life, and that's death, obviously. And so where was the harm in trying this? I built a brand for myself. I've got great experience. And so taking this journey was not a permanent decision. I could always, if something went wrong, I could always go back. And so it was normalizing the fear to where I kind of was trying to get rid of the really loud, crazy voices and realize what exactly did I have to lose? And that was sleep and nothing. Like, I had so much to gain from trying this. And it is, Javacia, I think you'll agree, heading on this journey has been the best school for me. Learning how to run a business, learning how to just grow things and expand your skill set has been amazing.
All right, Mindy, your career is different because which is so great to represent all different types of careers, things that women are doing, but you also made the decision to make a very big change. So can you tell us about that and advice that you would give to women?
Absolutely. I feel like I was a little more reckless than Delphine and Javacia. I just had this moment, which obviously my husband and I were both looking to do something different. And there was some opportunities that he had. He is self-employed, but it's a very long story, so I won't go into all that. Ultimately, I met the team from there on the project they were doing up in Kentucky. And I just felt like everybody that I talked to was just so amazing. I just loved being around them. I was so inspired by them. Obviously, I had a great job where I was, but I worked for a very small company, and I just did not really see room for growth. Again, loved what I did. I left once, hated when I left and worked retail. Immediately was like, please take me back. So my one thing is the grass is not always greener. So really spend the time to think about like if it's the right move. But we saw an opportunity, and we came to Birmingham and we toured, and I interviewed with the Bear team formally, even though I met with a handful of them prior to ever coming to formally interview at the corporate office. And I was like, let's go for it. Like, what do we have to lose? We can pack up and move back, which sounds crazy because we were selling our house. We sold a bunch of stuff so we didn't have to move it. We were packing up and leaving my entire family, which I had never done, but I felt like I needed that because I had never lived outside of Kentucky. I'm so glad that I did. I just took the leap. I knew the people that I was going to be around were so supportive. And I got to know the people I was going to be working with probably a good year before I actually took that leap. and packed up and moved everything. But we moved within 8 weeks. So I interviewed one weekend. We came back about 4 weeks later, found a place to live, and within 8 weeks we were living in Birmingham, and we love it. It's been 5 years now. So I think sometimes you just have to go for it. I mean, obviously make sure like if it doesn't work out that you have a backup plan. I feel like, you know, what Javacia said, can you do a little bit of both, or can you really have a hobby or something on the side that you're making some extra income, or, you know, just making sure it's something that you really, really love. But I think if it's supportive people, jump and go. Or if it's a business decision and you want to be self-employed, do it. What do you have to lose? Like Delphine said, death is the only thing that's permanent. You can go back, you can do something different, you can always make a change. So, you know, if there's something that you've been thinking about, especially if it's been a year or 6 months, I say do it.
Well, so let me ask you this, Mindy, because so you moved here and you immediately, I mean, I do know the team at Bear is great. We love Bear.
Mm-hmm.
But you immediately, I know, built a huge support network around yourself, professionally and personally. So how did you go about, I know it was intentional, how did you go about building that network around yourself so that, I mean, so that you really could thrive in your new position?
Yeah,
Sorry,
you know, some of it was
intentional.
intentional.
That one.
No,
I
that's
didn't
okay.
warn
That's
you
okay.
of that question.
No worries. It's okay. Some of it was intentional, and some of it was the help of other people. Again, like I said, the Bear team is super supportive. I had people that were immediately like, oh my gosh, I have a girlfriend from Kentucky. You guys should meet and have lunch. Or you should meet my brother and his fiance. Like, you guys would all get along really great. People kind of like set us up on friend dates, which is crazy to think about. But being in the marketing position at the summit, which is where I was, I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people. And from that, friendships started. I think you would think that I was the more social of my husband and I, but he actually is really social in his own aspect, and like his little car community group that he hangs out with. And a lot of our friends have come through that, but just people in Birmingham are great. You know, I met you and Kelsey, and from that I met Jackie, and I've just met so many different people. I just talk to people. You know, if I'm out and about, or if somebody says, hey, network with this person, I'm like, great, let's do it. Let's get a coffee. Let's get a cocktail. You know, I can give 30 minutes to an hour of my time, and maybe a friendship forms from it, maybe a work connection forms from it. I think people are like, how did you meet so many people so quickly? And I have a passion for small businesses. It's something that was really important to me when I was in Lexington, and helping kind of promote those small businesses and uplift them and just get their name out in the community, because a lot of times they have a hard time doing that and getting, I did a blog, but I'm not going to go into all that. That's a whole other conversation for another day. But I just got to know them. I just would reach out and be like, hey, I want to meet you. I want to have coffee with you. I want to hear about what you're doing. I think that's another way to challenge yourself, to choose the challenge, is hear people's stories. Like, what are they about? That's a great way to learn from them. We can all help each other grow and have, you know, take different life lessons from each other. So you just got to reach out and say, let's get coffee. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I feel creepy when I say that, but I'm like, I feel like we have a lot in common, and I think social media helps.
I know.
Helps do that. But you just got to, I don't know, shoot that message out. The worst they can say is no, and then you're just getting coffee by yourself. No big deal.
Yep. Which you were going to do anyways.
But
one of the things that I do is so inspiring about you, Mindy, and Javacia and Delphine, I just combined your names, but Mindy, the way that you just really make an effort, and it's not, I think it's just who you are, but in all that you do, just, you're always supporting small businesses, and just naturally, and it's so inspiring to remember, like, that is such a big part of uplifting women, helping our economy grow, making paths for new people. So I just wanted to ask that. Okay, my next question is, one of the things that I love that the women in this community is the support that we have for each other. So what are some of the things that women, or that your supporters, it doesn't have to be women, because I've been hugely supported and uplifted by men in our community too, which I think is just awesome. So what are some of the things that your supporters, men or women, have done for you to get you where you are today? And then what are some of the things that you intentionally do to support others and to support women? And Delphine, we'll start with you.
I think that they helped point me to opportunities. So if it was professionally men or women where they said, hey, there's this project, go to bat for it, or I'm going to put your name in the hat. Do you want it? So it's intentionally looking at someone. And I think we should all do this too, from, just improving opportunities for everyone, is just give them the opportunity to go for something, tee them up, and then let them drive it home. And so it's all of the opportunities that have been put in front of me. Also, and I try to do, I guess how I give back is I try to do that for other people. I will tee you up all day long if I believe in you and you believe in yourself, and then you just drive it home and close it. But it's putting people in the right situations. Even like Mindy said, the intros, I never turn down a networking opportunity, because the strangest things can come from it. The weirdest connections happen. And so I always, if you introduce me to somebody and say, I think there's something there, have no idea what it is, but go meet, then I'll do that. It's how we all grow.
Javacia? So just a reminder, the question is, what have your supporters done for you to get you where you are today? And then what do you intentionally do to support others?
I could talk for hours about what my supporters have done for me. The CJ Wright community has just been absolutely amazing. So many opportunities have come to me, having my own monthly column and having just paid speaking engagements. So many things have come to me because of CJ Wright community members just talking about me to other people. And so I'm so grateful for that. And I try to pay that forward by, if I'm in a room and there's a woman I know who should be in that room but isn't, I'm going to say her name. I'm going to talk her up to anybody that I can, so that she will get opportunities as well. And, I will say this as well. The reason I consider the CJ Wright community my sisters and not my clients or my followers or anything like that, they are my sisters, because as some of you here know, last year I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And while I was fighting breast cancer, the CJ Wright community supported me in ways that I just can't even put into words. And so, women I'd never met in person were just showering me with support. And so, as women, we've just got to continue to do that. Talk about each other. When that person's not in the room, talk that person up, open doors for that person. The whole phrase of lifting while we climb, like, we have to do that. It may be cliche, but it's what we have to do.
All right, Mindy, excuse me.
I don't get queued up to what, I'm just kidding. I remember, I was taking notes.
I'll tell you.
So I didn't forget what I wanted to say. No. You don't have to, I remember. Javacia, I love that. One of my favorite things, like little quotes that I see, is surround yourself with women who would mention your name in a room full of opportunities. So be intentional with the people that you surround yourself with. I think it's really easy as women, and I choose to not be that sort of person. Women can be very catty, if we're being really honest, and you have to choose to not be that person. And I choose to not surround myself with people that are like that, because it's very negative. But when I think back to women or just people in general that gave me opportunities, both jobs that I'm in, the job that I'm in here at Bayer obviously was from a woman who recognized me as an influencer in Lexington and thought, this girl can do great things for our company. How do we meet her? How do we get to know her? I did not have a formal marketing position, so this is the first real marketing big girl job I've had. I came from event management, and I got into event management because somebody in that company recognized me from retail and said, I think I can teach her all the things she needs to know about event management. She's got the personality, she's got the drive, I can teach her those things. So I always try to look for that in other women. You may not necessarily have, Delphine, as you were saying, talking about skills and things like that. If you have the right personality and you can see something in someone, a lot of things can be taught. So I say that a lot of times, if I recognize somebody, I'm like, well, they might be missing this one small piece, but man, they're so strong in all these other areas. I can teach them that. That's teachable. I can mentor that or help them grow in that area. But they're really going to blossom and help make us successful in, the area that they may already be strong in. So I try to look for that in other women. I try to be a support system to the females in my life and just let them know, when they're doing a great job. I think a lot of times we forget to send that text that says, man, thank you, or you did great. Just want you to know you're supported and you're loved. So just take those couple minutes to do that. I did that last night, and I think there were some girls that worked really, really hard on an event yesterday, and I think that they know that they were that we appreciated their time and their energy that they put into it. But I really wanted to make sure that I verbalized that, and that was something that one of my former bosses did. It was very important to her to always verbalize, even if she thought people knew. Just make sure, send that message, send that thank you card, send that note, send that text, whatever it might be. Make sure people know how loved and supported they are.
Yep. Okay, Delphine, this one is for you specifically. So through social media, it's very easy to look at women and think they're doing a much better job than you. That's true for any women. But Delphine, as a mom, I know that there are many other moms on this call, or people thinking, how am I going to do everything I'm doing now when I am a mom? How am I going to be able to keep my career? So I'm laughing because I'm a mom asking this question. Can you tell us how you do it as a mom, and really how you manage not just working as a mom, but you started a new business, your kids are older, which means, it's a whole new type of crazy. So just how you do it as a mom.
I received amazing advice from actually my therapist, because I think everybody should have one. She told me to quit shoulding all over myself. And I said, should. I did not curse. I said, should all over yourself. Yep. And that was the best thing, like nonstop. I should be cooking broccoli tonight and not throwing together mac and cheese and rotisserie chicken. I should be washing the sheets. I should be like, there's so many shoulds. I should be working, but I'm running carpool. I should be all this stuff. And she was like, quit shitting all over yourself. And that was the best advice that I ever got. And that truly like keeps through my head whenever I'm beating myself down because I feel grit under my feet in the kitchen floor, like something. It's just quit, do the best that you can and just forget the noise. So I've just given myself more grace to get the work done, especially in the startup business and the entrepreneurial side. Everybody's telling, there's all these stories about you should burn both candles at both ends, I think is the saying. Like you should be working 24/7. You should be doing all these things. And it's like, that's incredibly unhealthy. We're very efficient as women. We know how to do a ton of things at once. And working more does not necessarily mean working smart. You only have 3 hours of actual focus in a day, like the full capability to do it. So just give yourself grace. Don't shit all over yourself. We spend more times with our kids today than any other generation. My kids went feral this summer and it was the best thing in the world for them. They were making lunches. They were doing all this stuff. Like they grow when we ask them to grow in healthy ways. And so, yeah, I think that's how I did it. I gave my kids more responsibility because frankly, they had none. And then I also just quit putting like ridiculous pressures on myself.
Do you have other working mom friends who support you, or do you feel alone?
Yeah.
Or how do you deal with that?
I have a great combination of working mom friends and then moms that have chosen to stay at home and to run their households and build themselves in other ways. And it's really, I'll put a post this morning just thanking everybody. It's that entire village that there's one mom who can help run carpool. I'll do it the next day. It's building a group around. I used to not be really great at asking for help. I guess that's another big one. I used to not be great at asking for help. I felt like I was imposing. I felt like I should be able to handle it on my own. There was a lot of self-pressure. And I realized I don't mind when people ask me, so I'm just going to ask these other people for help. And when you open the door to asking somebody else for help, they also feel more comfortable asking you, which is what we need.
Yeah.
So I realized when I was more vulnerable, they could be more vulnerable. I built stronger relationships and friendships. And that's ultimately how we are all getting it done.
Yeah. Okay. This is a question for everybody now. So I'll start with, Delphine, I'm going to start with you because I feel like I've been asking you last, so you get to go 2 times in a row. What do you think, this is good for you to start with, what do you think that Birmingham is doing well in promoting the culture of women at work?
This is a tough one for me because I feel like there's a lot of policies in our state that aren't fabulous for women of all socioeconomic levels. So I think there's a ton of room to grow, but to focus, and there's people like the Women's Fund who are really our champions in making that change. They're doing incredible things. And so there are lots of companies that we have talked to that are offering flexibility, that understand the pressures that are placed as being a parent. The biggest thing is that not only do businesses need to be accommodating to women's needs as caretakers, but also to men's needs. So I think there's more companies realizing that we need to have dads that are very involved. And if a dad wants to take the paternity leave, don't shame them, don't guilt them, because when dads are equally involved in raising kids, moms get more of a balance as well. And so businesses in Birmingham are realizing that the role of a parent is extremely important, and it's not taking away from work, but it's adding to it. And there's more and more businesses that are recognizing that for sure.
All right, Mindy, what about you? What do you think that Birmingham is doing well in promoting the culture of women at work?
I think events like this, honestly, and I was very involved in the Lexington community, but moving to Birmingham, there's a lot of different organizations like what you're doing, Kim, and putting things together. When I was at Pizzitz doing stuff with small business women, I really wanted to promote them. I think the women in Birmingham are what make the women in Birmingham special. We really uplift each other and take care of each other and network with each other, especially when I think about the downtown community specifically. Thinking about all the different fitness concepts that come together to do something together. They're mostly all women owned. So I don't know that I can speak to Birmingham as itself, kind of like Delphine was saying, some of the different laws and rules and stuff like that. But just the women in Birmingham are so amazing and do such a great job at putting together events like this, or events like we went to yesterday, Jackie, that was a International Women's Day event as well. We really do things to really uplift and take care of each other. So I think that's very special about Birmingham. I don't know that we had that type of women-focused community in Lexington, or if it just, that was 5 years ago, if it just hadn't really evolved yet. But I hope other people in other cities, if you're not from Birmingham, that you get to experience that. If not, create it. Be the Kim that creates this great platform for women.
Oh, me. Okay.
Be the Kim.
Javacia.
That's my new quote of the day.
No. Let's take away the should. What somebody gave a hashtag. Quit shitting yourself. That's the takeaway for the day. Okay, Javacia, what about you? What can you see are the good things about Birmingham?
Honestly, I just want to echo what Delphine and Mindy already said, because that's what I see. I see women taking care of each other. I see women like you, Kim, and so many other women just creating spaces to uplift other women, creating spaces to give women the resources that they need, the support they need, the nurturing that they need, the knowledge that they need. So yes, I definitely see that. I'm also a huge supporter of the Women's Fund. Anybody who knows me knows that, because I'm always talking about the Women's Fund. I'm wearing a Women's Fund t-shirt right now. So I really am a huge supporter of all the work that they are doing to change things at a policy level. Because as Delphine mentioned, there are several things going on in our state that do not support women. And the Women's Fund is very dedicated to changing that. And so they're doing that on a policy level. They're also doing that with research. And they're doing that with philanthropy as well, by supporting organizations that help support women.
Okay, so quick question. If people are like, okay, what's the Women's Fund? How can we learn more? Javacia, just real quick.
Yeah, so if you go to womensfund.org, I think is the website.
I bet it's org.
Yeah, it's womensfund.org, I think. But if you go to their website, you'll learn more about their mission and all the different things that you can do to support them. One of the biggest ways you can support them is each year they have something called Smart Party, where they honor some women in Birmingham, Alabama area, but also it's their biggest fundraiser. So keep your ears out for Smart Party and definitely support that.
Yep. Okay, one final question before we get into some rapid fire questions. Can you give the ladies who are on this call some advice or a challenge on how they might choose to challenge going forward? Oh, I'll start with Mindy.
Some advice for women on how to choose the challenge. I feel like that is a difficult one. You know how I feel about this challenge thing. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Yeah, I think one, as we talked about, surrounding yourself with just great women. Find great women that will help to network with, help hold you accountable. Those women might be mentors, they might be friends. Because I think once I really found that group of women that I could share my ideas with and feel comfortable doing that, because I think sometimes that can be challenging, but find those women that will help give you that step up, but in an organic way, and that you can give a step up. So it's not always about what can people give you, but what can you give them. And write those goals down. I think that's, again, going back, I love that we do that every year. When we do it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to write my goals. But then once we do it, I'm like, gosh, those are really great. Like now I really know what I'm working towards. And again, that can be in your daily life. It could be in your professional life. I'm going to use roller skating as an example, because I know Kim loves that. I'm going to come roller skate at Ford's one day. I'm just going to surprise you and zoom around the whole, the whole place. Jackie, I'll make sure you're there too. But when I did it, I was like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I need to set goals for myself, because I'm not going to get better. I'm not going to learn. So I found online classes I could take. I make sure that I do at least 3 days a week of at least 30 minutes. A lot of times my 30 minutes turn into 2-hour segments of me rolling up my dining room rug and pushing the table out of the way and skating around my dining room, which is comical. I don't really show that a whole lot. I show you on Instagram the great stuff. Like we were just talking about. I show you the highlights of how good I am for those 15 seconds, but not the full 2 hours, and not when a dog's almost knocked me over off my roller skates. But set yourself goals. And again, if you don't do those and you don't share those, like I just shared it with you guys, you can't be held accountable. So it's really great to hold yourself accountable, or you won't, if you're like me, you won't do it. So but be able to look back and say, what did I set last year, and where did I come? And did I meet that goal? Did I not meet that goal? And if you didn't meet the goal and it's still important to you, set the goal again, start over. Because a lot of times there are goals that I just didn't get to. We only have so many hours in the day, and we do a lot.
Yeah. All right, Delphine, what about you?
I love what Lakeithia just said about implementing journaling for your business. I've never thought about that. So I think for me, I remember this story when I was a kid that I read, and I don't even know, I wish I could remember where I read this, but it's like stayed with me forever. So it's a story about these two girls, they're best friends, and one girl is white and one girl is black, and one girl's at a party, and she hears a bunch of people talking, saying inappropriate things. She goes back to her friend and was like, God, I was at this party. They were being so tacky. You don't want to be their friends. Can you imagine them? And her friend looked at her and said, well, what did you say? And so the message from that is be other people's voice. And so if you hear things, you can't just sit there and go, well, I need to go tell Betsy what just happened because this is awful. But it's be the voice of the people that aren't in the room, or invite them to the room, but definitely. And it's a challenge because it's tough, right? You've got a pack of people around you and you may be this separate voice, this unique voice, but just sit in the discomfort and be the voice. And so I don't always thrive at it or succeed at it, but that's something that I try to teach myself every day and teach my kid is be the voice for the women, people of color, socioeconomic differences, like whatever it is, just be the voice. Animals, be the voice.
Yeah. Okay, Javacia.
So I would say, I'm a writer. So obviously I'm all about storytelling, and I would challenge everyone here to share their story in some way, because there's so much power in that. So you empower yourself when you share your story, but you also empower the people who hear your story, because there's someone out there who's had an experience similar to yours, but they feel alone. They feel like they're the only person in the world that this has happened to. And then when you share your story, they feel less alone. So I would say find some way to share your story with other people.
I love that. Those are 3 great challenges. Okay, so we have finished the questions that I had prepared. I have a few fun rapid fire questions for the ladies that it's just short answers. But before we get into those, I'm going to use this time. I want y'all to use this time. One, first is for mixtros. So Kelsey has put the link in the notes. So if you, or the chat, not notes. So if you scroll up, I'm scrolling. There's a lot of chat, which is awesome, and a lot of great hashtags in there. But it's the longest link. It was at 9:31 if you're looking at timestamps. But go ahead and go into that link and answer the questions. Get ready. Be prepared for the mixtros, because Ashley in just a few minutes is going to create the mix. So that means that we need to be a part of it. You need to go ahead and answer the questions. You might have to take like a fun little selfie. So everybody might be making funny faces right now, but that's okay. So get prepared to be in the mix, and I'll let Ashley know in just a few minutes that she can do that. And then also, if you have any questions, I saw a few questions in the chat, so I'm going to go back to those. But if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat. So right now we have just a few fun questions for the ladies to give y'all time to get prepared for the mix, and any questions that you have for the ladies. So I'm going to go in the same order every time, ladies, so that we're just going to go. And on my screen, I have Javacia, Mindy, Delphine. So that's the order that we're going to go in. So the first question, and I actually got this idea from when Javacia did an interview of me a while ago for Style Blueprint, and I love this question, so I like to ask it too. So what are 3, Javacia, what are 3 things that you can't live without each day?
My 3 things would be Essie nail polish, my day designer planner, and cheese. I have to eat cheese every day.
I love that. I was like,
wait, what was the second one? Yeah. What was the second one?
Oh, my day designer, my planner.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. Mindy?
That's a great planner. Mine would be Carmex. It's literally sitting on my computer. And what I didn't know I couldn't live without are my AirPods, or my earbuds, as I call them, and my iPhone.
And your iPhone, yeah.
Gotta have my camera, my Instagram, and my video, and my email, and all in one place. Can't live without it.
All the things. Yep. All right, Delphine.
iPhone too, because you can work anywhere. Like it let me work from a ball field or whatever. This one is not a changeable thing, but I've got to be outside every day. Like I just have to. It's a thing for me. And then apparently it's a new passion for Aribe, thanks to Wheelhouse. The smell of that product, Aribe hair care, if anybody was wondering what I said.
Orbit, yeah.
Freaking phenomenal.
The
Orbe.
It's
Dang.
the best.
Thank you, Mindy.
Yes.
It's the hardest word.
It was really difficult not for me to just take that out of your bag and keep it for myself.
That stuff is like a guilty pleasure. It's the best.
Good. Okay, next question, starting with Javacia. This is a good one. I forgot. What is the last thing that you did to pamper yourself?
I don't know if this is pampering, but more like rewarding, but I bought myself a new car.
Ooh. All right, Mindy, what about you?
My last pamper was a facial from Fancy Face, which if you have not gone there, it's amazing. I will put it in the link. They're just incredible. I love it. I get one a month now. My new guilty pleasure.
That's right. All right, Delphine.
Okay, so budget's tight. So this was the $5 I spent yesterday getting into Oak Mountain. So my dog and I went to Oak Mountain and we went running and just spent 3 hours out in the sunshine, hiking and just playing around. And I started shooting myself that I should be working or doing something. And I was like, nope, you need this. And I just spent that time outside and God, it was amazing.
Okay, Javacia, what's your favorite Birmingham restaurant? I know your favorite one closed, which is very sad.
Yeah, that's my answer, that I don't have a favorite anymore because the zombie apocalypse killed my favorite restaurant, which was Boulo. So,
yep, it's so sad.
That burger,
that cheese dip,
that cheeseburger. Oh my gosh, so good.
The quad.
It was also good. All right, Mindy, what about you?
My favorite restaurant would be Automatic Seafood.
Yep, so good. Delphine?
Oyster Bar. I'm going to say a favorite restaurant for a specific time. It's brunch at the Essential.
Yeah. Oh, it's also good.
Good one.
Okay, Javacia, what is one thing that you enjoyed most about quarantine COVID times?
I have actually liked having my husband at home every day.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a lot of people that it's been very trying for their marriage, but he's been working from home during the quarantine. So, and I've actually enjoyed having him here every day.
Yep. Mindy?
My favorite thing has probably just been the flexibility from work. You know, we used to be a very come to the office at 8:30, be gone by 5:30 sort of company. And I love that we have just become more flexible where it's work from home, work from the office, work in your pajamas, come to the office in your workout gear. We don't have to be business casual, wear tennis shoes. I love that. And I honestly love just how much people have gotten back outdoors. Like Delphine said, we got a pass to Oak Mountain. We love going out there. I just love, and that's part of what I like about, I can just go work from a patio somewhere if I need to, or work from my own patio. So just the ability to, people have gotten back outside, which I think was a lost thing. We kind of forgot to get out and enjoy the sunshine.
Yep. Okay, Delphine.
I think it's a little bit like what Mindy was saying. It's we broke a lot of rules, I think, and it was fun to see what we did with that. The breaking rules.
Yep. That's right. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the Q&A. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. This is for Delphine. I was reminded a few weeks ago that men do not have to like the men they go to business with, and generally women do business with women they only like. Is there some truth to this?
Wow, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. Sorry, I didn't read it all the way.
I know that it's a great one though, right? Because it goes back to what Mindy was saying about sometimes we can be catty. I'll say this, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, I think we should support good people. So if there's somebody that's getting ahead by doing some not great stuff, I'm probably not, no matter what your business is, I'm not going there. And so maybe that means I'll lose some way, but I'm just not doing it. So I hope that more people operate that way, period. Like reward good behavior with your business and your partnerships.
Yeah.
I just hope that that's the right answer.
Yeah. Okay, this is a question for the panel. So we'll see who has the answer. Has anybody worked through the Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way? It addresses things like unblocking our creative side, recovering buried dreams. This could be a good way to discover ideas and goals and ways to grow professionally and personally.
Yeah, I think
I haven't.
every writer has done the Artist's Way probably at some point in their life. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And Kathleen, you're right. It is a great way to discover your dreams, your passions, to set goals for yourself. And I think it's a good way to uncover your story as well. But yeah, non-writers obviously are free to do it, and I highly encourage them to do it.
Okay, and so here's the last question that we have. It says, was there ever a time after you took the leap that business wasn't going so well? How did you motivate yourself to hang in there? And then another question was that I have is like, if it wasn't going well, how did you decide, okay, maybe I should go back? If anybody who has an answer can just answer.
I can just say, heck yes. There is no starting a business where I've never heard a story where you start a business and it's just rosy. I'm sure Javacia has seen the same in her experience starting something. Kim, I know you have with COVID hitting you. Like there's definitely been plenty of times where you're like, oh my gosh, is this going to last another day, another week? And then something will happen and a door will open. I'll say a comment to somebody and they're like, I know what can help. I was accepted into this cohort program out of Atlanta called the Zane Capital Network. Like I was motivated by all the people in that group. And I think others motivated me through.
Yeah.
I think it was being around others who were like, oh, this is normal. You're going to think you're failing 1,000 times before you actually get there.
Yeah. Can any of y'all speak to that question as well? What kept you motivated when the leap didn't seem like it was a good one?
Yeah, I'll jump in because I left a career where I did event management. I thought I wanted to do something different, and I left and quickly realized that was not the right move for me. I did not love it. Don't burn bridges. That's the one thing I will say. I kept in contact. I finished out my, I think I did a 2-week notice, maybe even a 30-day notice at the time. I don't really remember. But I made sure that I was leaving my company, that I was leaving in a good place. And when I made the decision to go back, it was just a quick call of like, I've made a mistake. Can we talk? And, I know that you might not be able to take me back tomorrow, but, just keep me in mind if something does come back up. And I just was very open about what I didn't like about the company and why I originally left. So I would say that, like, always try to tell that, or, talk about those things that you may not like if you're in a job. If you're not, you're a small business owner, you got to kind of do what you need to do for your company. But for me, I was working for a small business, and I just didn't open my mouth and say what I didn't like about things that were going on, or didn't feel comfortable doing that. And it really was just in my own head. It wasn't that my boss wasn't open to hearing those things. So when I left, I was like, oh, I should have just told her. I don't know what I was afraid of. And then I eventually did. And about a year and a half later, I ended up going back. So don't burn bridges is definitely something that is a life lesson, and something my parents taught me a long time ago.
Yeah. Javacia, what about, do you have an answer or?
Yeah, I would just say whenever I start doubting myself, I lean on my community. That's why community is so important. And like Delphine said, something, just that moment when you feel like, oh, this is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. Something always just happens. And, a door opens and you have the opportunity that you need to make things work.
Well, ladies, thank y'all so much for giving your time and sharing with your wisdom and your experience with us. We really, really appreciate it. And these ladies actually have met with me another time, and we have one more question that is going to come out tomorrow. We have a podcast called Building Birmingham Together. So there's one final question if y'all want to hear that. Tomorrow it will be live, and we talk about failure on the podcast, each one of them. So thank y'all so much. This was awesome, and I can't wait to give y'all a hug and to be together all together next year, but this was great. So now, one last minute reminder to go do the Mixtros thing. It's going to be at 10:05. They're going to join the groups. So go do that. Just a reminder, if y'all are interested, we've heard a lot about community, networking. If you are interested in connecting with more women, definitely check out workatforge.com/connect. We would love to see y'all there. A huge thank you to our sponsors, 1 Degree Marketing, The Wealth Edit, Somerset Advisory. All of the sponsors from our goodie bags were amazing. And I am going to bring Kelsey on. And we do have a few door prizes. So I'm going to unpin the other ladies, maybe. And okay, so Kelsey, hang on, I can't do multiple things at once. Okay, now it's just Kelsey. A huge thank you to Kelsey, because Kelsey is the one who made this day go smooth. She has been working since January on this event. So huge, big props to all the work that Kelsey has done, has made this such a great day for everybody. Everything in the goodie bag, y'all can thank Kelsey for arranging. And our intern, I'm not sure if she's here on the call right now, Megan, drove around, picked up everything. So yes, they have just made it awesome. But the first door prize that we have is for the relaxation room. So this is coming from the awesome people who had some referrals top of mind. Now, if you still have referrals, you can still give them to us. We would greatly appreciate it. But who is the winner of the massage from Relaxation Room?
Okay, the winner is Mindy Dent.
Oh, yay! You're in my screen, Mindy. All right.
Yay, Mindy.
That's awesome. And you're going to love it. She's awesome. Okay. The next door prize is from, look how pretty they wrapped it, made it so nice for you, is from our daughter's baking. So if y'all have ever had or followed on Instagram and drooled, they make beautiful cakes, and I have had them. They are so good, but they have given us a gift card. So it's a $20 gift card for one of their cakes. So Kelsey, who is the winner? And you have to be on the call to be the winner. So
Yep. So the winner is, let's see if she's still here, Brantley Fry.
maybe. I saw her in the chat. Brantley. Oh,
I think she's still on here, but she's muted.
I'm
There she
here.
is.
Uh-oh. Oh, she's here? Yeah, hey.
All right.
Okay, great. Yeah, you're going to be very happy.
Thank
Okay,
you.
the last, yay, the last door prize is a $20 gift card to Ashley Max. So you can come visit us at Forge and go downstairs with your friend and have Ashley Max. So who is the winner of the Ashley Max gift card?
It's Faith Bauman.
Okay,
Oh,
Faith.
thanks, guys. That's awesome. Thank you.
But we still have one more from Thank You Books, the big one.
Oh, I didn't see it back there. I know. So Kelsey, tell us about that one.
I know there's a tote bag, and they chose 2 different books that are women focused. And then there's a gift card. I don't know, maybe for 20 or
Oh,
25.
yeah. And
And
I
they-
left it in the closet, so I can't show you, but Thank You Books is awesome. Yes. So, oh, I feel so bad. I didn't pick it up. But okay, so the door prize for Thank You Books.
It is Jasmine Shaw.
Oh, right. Yay. That's great. Okay, I am going to remove the pins, and I'm going to see if we can try to get a picture. Kelsey, have you taken a picture of everybody on the call?
I haven't, but I can do that right now if you want.
All right. Yeah, I can't get everybody, but so we are going, so if y'all want to turn your cameras on, or else we'll just get your still shot picture. But yeah, so we are now going to break up and go into the Mixtros event, and we won't come back here. So y'all go and meet the awesome women who are on this call, chat with them, the best thing to do in networking is to make sure to follow up afterwards. So make sure you exchange emails, phone numbers, LinkedIn profiles, whatever, so that you can really connect and really build those relationships that for personal will enhance your life. And also as you build meaningful relationships, it will impact your business as well. But thank y'all so much for being here today. Even though we're not in person, it is amazing to gather together and support the awesome women in our city who are doing awesome things. I'm just blown away by the community. So thank y'all for coming. And did you get a picture, Kelsey? Yep. Okay. All right. So y'all enjoy your mix. Oh, wait, I got to tell Ashley that we're ready. I've got too many things that I'm juggling. Okay. Oh, she said the groups are created. So
It shows breakout rooms at the bottom. Do we just click that?
Oh, okay. So I guess I just click on it. Oh, no, it says, okay, Ashley's not on this call, but